Hello you guys and welcome back to Get Crafty Tutorials. Today I will be showing you how to make a Christmas gift, and yes, we are already at part 5, and today we'll be seeing different Christmas ornaments. So the tools and materials you are going to be needing for this one, I've just bundled them up, are these vinyl sheets. I'm using a golden one, a black one, and a pink glitter one. So these are all vinyl, so you do have that the white backside, and it's like a stickery side. So we are going to cut on the color itself, and the white side will be on your mat. Okay, then next up we do have our ornaments over here. I have like all of these different kinds. So the pink one I'd like to use on the star. Then we have like that golden one that I would like to use on the brown. But we'll just go ahead with the tutorial and you'll see what the end result will be in a second. Then next up, we will be using our weeding tool as usual, the Cricut weeding tool, and our hands, of course. So this is the one that I always use. And then I do also use my transfer paper. So I will be using a paper transfer paper that you can only use once per time. And I'm going to link it in bio as well. But this one is the perfect one to use on ornaments. And then I'll just use my small Cricut scraping tool because we do our working. I don't need the large one for this one. So I'm going to be linking this one in bio as well. So now let's just go ahead to step 1, and that is open your Cricut design space. Okay, so let's click on new project. That is on the right side above, so the green button. And we are on our canvas, again, our blank canvas. And I'm just going to use regular text boxes during this whole tutorial. So let's go ahead and click on text. Okay, so this is our first ornament, and I will be using names that I can offer these gifts to. So I'm just going to go ahead and type carry in for the first ornament. Okay, so I will make sure. Let's go ahead to font. And as you know, we do have like these different fonts. We have the Cricut fonts that are in your Cricut subscription, but I will be using my system fonts. That means I've downloaded the font already. It is called Farmhouse Christmas, and I will do a separate tutorial on this one. I will put the link as well in bio because it is available on Creative Fabrica, and they have like plenty of SVGs and fonts that you can download. So now we do have like the simple name that I wanted, and I want to add an image. So click on images, and I'm just going to type in sleigh. Okay. So it will be a cut operation. So cut only will be selected. And I'm just going to take a simple sleigh with some stars, there you go, and add to canvas. Perfect. So now we'll put it behind the name just as an arrange. I'll put it in black just to get that perspective, and I'm using black and gold. So the golden one will represent, I will pick it in yellow, and that would represent the golden vinyl then. So there you go. I'm just going to resize these a bit because it can be too big as well. This design will be a tricky one, and you'll see in the tutorial later on that the sleigh is very tricky to put on the ornament, but I wanted to show it because sometimes you see something and you want to do it, but there you go. This is our first ornament all set to go, and they will all be also Operation Basic Cut, okay? So now let's go to our second ornament, and again, we'll just go ahead and use our text box again. So click on text, and I'm going to do a second one, and that one I'm going to use the name Joy. Here I want to do a separate initial and the name. So we have our name over here, and then I'm just going to resize it a bit. Perfect. And we'll add another text box, and I'm going to put the J in it. Now in a second, you'll see what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to change the color already from the letter to black. And it's just because it has to be another color, same as with the sleigh. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to click on arrange above and bring to front. That way the name is in front of the letter. That's what we want. But as you can see, the J and the joy, it's the same. So we're going to select the J, and I'm going to change the font. And I love the font Aldine for that. I'm just going to link it in bio as well. And it makes like the letter apart stand out, and that creates a special effect. So let's go ahead and select Joy as well, resize it, put it in gold, yellow in our Cricut design space. And then we have like this clear view of what it should be. We do not want to make it too big because the initial is really big and the ornament, so based on how big it is. So that is our second ornament. So let's go to our third one right now. So I've already created a text box. So let's go ahead and type in the name. And then I'll go to fonts and I will choose again font that has been downloaded onto my system. And the font is called Cute Rita. And again, I will link everything in bio and keep repeating it. But Cute Rita is a font that isn't like a written style, but it's like really big letters. And I think it's also a bit Christmassy, elf fontish. So let's go ahead and use this one. And then we'll click on images because I want to add a little Santa hat. So let's go ahead and type in Santa hat. Perfect. So now we're looking on the Santa hats. Again, operation type is already set on cut only. And we'll just take a basic one and add it to our canvas. So that one will justify. Go ahead and click and add to canvas. Okay, there it is. So let's just flip it and click on flip and flip horizontal as we are going to put it on the S, and that way it's in the right direction. So we'll just go ahead and resize everything that way the hat will fit. And I'm not going to layer this one. I'm going to do everything black. It's just the hat changes it. It makes it Christmassy, but you'll see the end result will be nice as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and select everything. And right under, you can click on attach. And that way you basically attach everything and it automatically becomes one color. Okay, so now we are moving on to our fourth ornament. And again, a text box will suffice. You'll just add one. And I'm going to use this one to put in engage. So this is one that I don't know if I'm going to fail or not, but we're just testing it. So I'm just going to use Farmhouse Christmas again as a font. I'm going to keep it simple, just the word engage. I am going to weld this because you do have like those edges that are not welded. So I'm going to click on weld, and that way the word just becomes one, and you'll see in an instant, there you go. So everything is nice and clean over here. So I'm going to resize this one also because it's too big for what I'm using, and I'm going to place it apart. Okay, so last one, you guys. So this one is for the golden bow, and I do want to make an in loving memory bow. So I'm going to apply a black vinyl on both of the sides of the ends of the bow. So one, I'm going to say in loving memory, then I'll add another text box with the name and the dates. Okay, so let's see how this comes out because again, the bow is also the first time that I'm going to try. So I do not know if the surface will end up good, if it will stick or not. But let's just try it. As I said, these tutorials are for trial and error, and I'm saving the template, saving the project, and you have my Cricut Design Space link below, and you can access to all the templates that I make on my YouTube channel. So save, and let's go ahead, and after this, click on make it because we're just going to go ahead to our mats, okay? So let's go and do that. Perfect. So now we do see our three mats. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep everything nice and clean on my mat. So as you know, when you click on make it, your Cricut Design Space kind of place it. But I am actually using a black vinyl leftover. So I always keep these little pieces around because you never know when you're going to need one. And I do have like this bit of space. So that is why I'm dragging it all together. So this is then I have my pink one and I have my yellow one that represents my gold one, and we are not going to mirror them as it is a vinyl. And let's click on continue. Okay, my maker has been connected via Bluetooth, and I'll click on vinyl because we are using regular vinyl, so no mirror on, it's not iron on, so just vinyl. So the base material has been set. The pressure will just leave on default. Now I'm using my standard grip mat, that is the Cricut mat, the green one, and I'm putting my black vinyl on it. So the color needs to be on the upside and the white side needs to be on the mat. Okay, just because you're going to cut on the black side and then we're going to transfer it. Careful because as you can see, the white one is the black one, so we're starting with that one first. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load my mat into my Cricut Maker by using the arrow button, Once it's all good to go, you'll see that the Cricut logo button will blink, and then you can click on that one and you'll see this screen. So let's just go ahead and I'll let you just sneak peek a bit of my Cricut Maker process, and we'll come back together in step 2, which is weeding and transferring. And we have a lot of weeding and transferring to do, you guys, because we have 4 ornaments, okay? So just be patient. See you later. Okay, everything is weeded out. These are my vinyls. I've already cut them in smaller pieces. I am going to use my Cricut weeding tool as usual to weed everything out. And let's just go ahead and start, because the first ornament we are going to make is the glitter brown one with the initial and the name. So yes, I have my ornament here. I use a mug just to position it because it's rather uncomfortable otherwise, and this just keeps it in place for me. I have my golden vinyl and my black vinyl, which is the initial, and I'm just going to weed this out using the Cricut weeding tool as usual. And I'm going to start in the corners and then go ahead and weed everything out. So you can follow the process over here, but I'm just going to fasten it up a bit because we do have 4 ornaments to make, you guys. Okay, everything is said and done, and now the one thing that remains is applying it. So as I said, I will be positioning it on my mug, and then I'll take a bit of transfer paper. Yes, paper. So it is a paper type. And I'm going to cut out the right size for my letter. So I'll start with the letter and I'm going to cut it off. Okay. I'll use my scissor, just cut out a small piece that will go on the letter. And important to know is you can only use this once because it doesn't stick enough to use it twice. So you'll just go ahead and do it the same as you do with the other transfer tape. Put it on, use your scraping tool. I'll use a small one and I'll just go ahead and scrape it. You do not have to scrape a lot because it isn't sticky. It's just enough sticky to pick it up, but you don't have to scrape that much. There you go. Now we'll take our ornament, and here you need to be patient and really careful because the way you position it, so you actually have to start. So I'll start with the top and then I'll work my way on to down because you do not want to have air in your ornaments. So I'll just use my fingers as well, and you do not need to be afraid for everything that is around it. You'd prefer that the paper around it has air but not your letter. So I'm just going to go ahead, and actually you'll see that it's really good when you notice that there's like this 3D effect and the letter really pops out of the paper. So then you know, okay, everything has been said and done and it's great. So you can actually see it from a distance. I'm just going to pull and nice and gently, and there you go. You can see it's really nice. It gives that wow effect. I'm just going to give you a close up, but there you go. That's only the letter. But as you can see, the paper one really works well. So now the golden one, I'm going to use another part of the paper, so not the same one. This one I'm going to toss. Pick a new piece of paper. Just going to remove that little piece that has been stuck on it on the upside. Okay. And I'm going to use my scraping tool again to do the same process, you guys. There you go. Remove it again. And this one is a bit trickier because we have a letter already that it can stick to, and we have 3 letters. Okay, so again, be patient, take your time, especially if it is the first time. It is an ornament, and when you're working with round subjects, you really have to go really slow. So over here, I'm just working my way up from right to left. I think it's much easier to go letter to letter, and really the air can be in the other ways, but not on it. So I do know that you are not seeing the process from up close because I'm filming from above, but you're actually, there you go. So you actually see the letters coming through, and then you know, okay, I can go ahead and start pulling. So when I pull, you can see that the letters are really nice on them. and it's really easy to pull off. So I'm not having any trouble with it. There you go. And now for our second ornament. Let's go to the gold glitter one, and we'll use our name with the Santa hat. So you remember the name with the Santa hat is a black one. So I use my black vinyl and I'll put it on it. Again, use the mug to position your ornament. So just again, I've already cut it up in a smaller piece. I'm going to use my Cricut weeding tool, same process, to go ahead and weed everything out. I'm speeding up the process because otherwise it takes too long. But there you go, I already have my name over here. So we'll just go ahead and position it. We'll take our transfer paper again, a new piece. So always a new piece, so one step at a time. So I'll take one, I'll just position it above again. There you go. Use my scraping tool. Just a bit. You do not have to do it a lot, but just to get it on the transfer paper. There you go. And now again, this is a much bigger one, so you really need to position it good. Paste it onto your ornament again in the middle. So make sure you do have that ring. You can, but the ornament always have like these edges around them. So again, I'm starting from right to left to make sure that I have each letter nice and clean on the ornament. So again, make sure your letters are being pasted on without any air on them, because otherwise it's really tricky. So you do not have to worry about the air that is around the paper. You just have to worry about the letter and the image itself. So I always notice that when you do a nice job, you see that your paper gives you like that 3D effect of your font, and you'll see it coming out of your paper. And then you know that it won't be tricky to pull it off. Okay, so the hat, let's just make sure the S in the hat is really nice on it. So you can really see everything coming out. So that means it's really set. Let's just go ahead and pull on the right corner, really nice and gently, but it's an easy pull. There you go. It does seem like I'm struggling, but it's just because I really want to make sure that I'm not taking anything off. But it does look gorgeous, doesn't it? Like, that's what I said with the elf. So, second ornament, all said and done. And I do know it seems really, really easy this way, but the most of the thing is you do not want to mess it up, and the weeding. That takes a lot of time. So, let's go to our third one. Okay, so number 3 is a glitter gold bow, and I'm putting in black vinyl and loving memory and the name and the date. So on both sides. So you can hang this up, you can use this as a decoration. It is something new for me, so I did not personalize this yet. So it's the first time, so we'll do it together. Let's just see. So I'm using the Cricut weeding tool. I'm speeding the process up a bit because I do have a lot to weed and it takes a lot of time in between all these ornaments that I'm making. So I'm just weeding the name, the in loving memory, and then the date with the cross. Okay, so I've weeded everything out. Everything is all good to go. So now I'll just take a piece of transfer paper and I'm just going to cut this one up in multiple pieces. And we'll just go through the same process. We're going to use this one to transfer everything over to our bow. Again, I'm just going to speed up the process because it is a bit tricky. So I'm going to paste in loving memory on one side and the name and the date on the other side. So let's just put it on it, and then let's go ahead and use our scraping tool to transfer this to our transfer paper. Perfect. Okay. And now we'll just go ahead to our bow, and we're going to use this one and stick it on that side. So I'm just going to go ahead and move the process up, and you're going to see the end result in just 1 second. Okay, all said and done. It was a bit tricky. I'm going to be really, really honest with you all. I do not know if it's the font or the final, but I do love the way it came up, and I am going to do this more frequently because I love working with other material. So let's go to our last ornament, you guys, and the last one is, yes, you've seen it. The fourth ornament is a transparent flower ornament with the Santa sleigh and the name. And this one is going to be tricky as well because we do have this black Santa sleigh over here that I'm going to read out, and I do have the name in gold final. So I do think it's going to be tricky, but let's just read everything out again, and I'll see you in a second for the transferring. Okay, so both of them are good to go. Here is our name, and this is our sleigh. So now we'll just go ahead and paste it on our ornament, and we're going to use the same process. So again, I'm using the mug and the ornament, and we'll paste it in the middle. So let's just go ahead and take our transfer paper as well. And it's going to be tricky, okay, because it is a really big one. So let's just go ahead and see how this is going to turn out. So I'm just going to cut this up in a smaller piece. Okay, so I'll paste this one directly on it, and then I'll cut and just use my scraping tool again to go over it. So just go ahead and scrape it on it and pull to take it off your wow. Okay, perfect. So the tricky part, I'm really excited. So I'm just going to start again at the right side. I do not know why, but I always have that one. And I'm going to scrape the image step by step, really gentle. So I'm actually doing it more gently, but I've speeded the process a bit up in the video because otherwise it would be so long. So if you are doing this in real life, just go really slow, and it depends on the ornament you're using as well, because all my ornaments, side note, are plastic. So I'm not using any glass. I did once use glass in the past and I loved it. But the thing is, when you're pressing, you can actually press and break it. And I actually had that already. And also, I do have kids, and I love when you have ornaments that are plastic because that way you do not need to be afraid for them to break. But the glass ones are cute as well, so you can easily choose, but just be careful with the pressing. So as you can see, it's not that easy, you guys. So I have to really use my fingers with this one and pull it off. So that's also the benefit of the transfer paper, is that it doesn't stick too much, so you can basically press really hard, and if it doesn't come off, so I think it's the surface that is kind of tricky, but I'll show you the entire process. You can just hold it and pull it off. So I've done that for everything a bit, so I knew this one was going to be tricky. Not this tricky, but I do think the surface wasn't that clean, or was a bit trickier than the other ones. So now we just go ahead and use our name, which is not going to be easy because when it's that tricky, useful, I need to be careful that I'm not pulling off my black one as well as I'm scraping this one on it. So let's just use my fingers first and then go ahead and scrape with them as well. And again, just be careful when pulling it off because as we are doing a layer, you can pull off the other one. So it happened to me in the past, in the beginning. If you're pulling something off, just be really careful because actually, while you're scraping the name on it, you're scraping that other one back on your transfer tape. And the moment of truth, let's just go ahead and pull it off. Okay. Will it stick? Won't it stick? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Loving it already. That was so easy to peel off. I did not have any issues with the sleigh as well. I do love it. It gives that kind of really minimalist effect, I think. I do not know if you're agreeing with me, but I do love it with the golden flowers on the inside and the rope. So let's just go ahead and look at all of these. We've all just made this, and you've all just watched me make these in like 30-minute tutorial. It took me a bit longer to get everything out, but they are cute. So let's just go ahead to step 3 and see the final results, you guys. And step 3 final results. Here they are. Aren't they cute? I absolutely adore them, and I do know the people that are receiving these are going to be happy as well. It's just something that you can turn out so unique, and you can buy them everywhere, or you can make them yourself. So if you want me to do a tutorial on how to make these yourself as well, just comment below and I'll do a tutorial on that one as well, because it's really easy to make. As I said, I do use plastic ornaments, so if you want to do this with glass, just be careful that you're not putting a lot of push on them to not break them. I do have a Christmas gifts playlist available on my channel, and I'm going to give you a lot of more, so just subscribe, and that way you won't miss any video, because I'm coming back with more, you guys. Okay, so do subscribe. Thank you for watching Get Crafty tutorials, and see you soon.